Ladies and gentlemen, it's been more than 250 days since the first full NFL Sunday, but we are back, and 7 hours of red zone football starts now.
7 hours? What happened to the commercial free?
The National Football League, also known as the NFL, consists of 32 teams divided equally among two conferences, the AFC and NFC. This is what makes the toughest league in the world so special. Each conference is further divided into 4 divisions, the AFC and NFC North, South, East, and West. Each division has 4 teams and they play 17 regular season games. Teams will play half their games at home and half as the visiting team. At the end of the regular season, 14 teams qualify for the playoffs, 7 from the AFC and 7 from the NFC. This includes 4 division winners and 3 wildcard teams. Wildcard teams are non-division winners with the best record in the conference. The playoffs follow a single elimination format. The number 1 seed in each conference gets a first-round bye, meaning they skip the first round. The remaining 6 teams in each conference play in the wild card round. Winners advance to the divisional round and then to the conference championship. The AFC and NFC champions face off in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year. The winner of the Super Bowl is crowned the champion and wins the Vince Lombardi Trophy. That's an overview of how the NFL works. If you want to learn more about the NFL, come back for more videos.
We made it, y'all. Football season officially starts today. Welcome to Rejuvenile Sports Mode. I'm your guy, Cassius Clae, and today we actually have football. We have the Dallas football Cowboys going against the Eagles today in Philadelphia, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. You guys can watch on NBC, Peacock, Telemundo, Universo, and NFL Plus. The Philadelphia Eagles are set to raise banners, flash rings, and defend their Super Bowl title on Thursday night. The Dallas Cowboys, fresh off of the Micah Parsons trade, roll into town for the regular season opener as a team in search of identity. The 2025 season game pits the defending champs against a Dallas team they blew out twice last season. The Eagles lost some firepower and depth this offseason, but the core of a championship team remains. The Cowboys counter with an explosive passing game and a new weapon in wide receiver George Pickens. Are the Eagles set to win big, or can the Cowboys hold their medal in Brian Schottenheimer's head coaching debut? Here's 3 must-know storylines real quick. Micah's gone. Can Dallas hold on? The Cowboys defense was already starting over in a way with the arrival of new coordinator Matt Eberflus. Following the trade of Parsons, it must restart again defensively. That's right, Dallas just traded their number 1 pass rusher, Micah Parsons. Let's go on to the second point here. Eagles seek title defense statement, but covering Cowboys wide receivers is the key. If there's an area where the Cowboys can make hay against the Eagles, it might be in the passing game. Young Eagles defensive backs Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean both have star potential and fared well in their game versus Dallas last year, but the Eagles have question marks at the other outside cornerback spot, with DeJean mostly fitting in the slot. My Raiders made a trade with them, and we'll see if Jacorian Bennett gets out there on the field to cover CeeDee Lamb and them out there. The third point, special teams might be a hidden weapon for Dallas tonight. The Cowboys might have their hands full in a lot of areas against the world champs, but they could have an edge in the kicking game. And here goes the injury report. And I'm pretty excited about it. It seems like it's going to be a really good game tonight, and I mean, football is back. Don't forget, make sure you guys get your fantasy football lineups, any dues paid and any of that sent in, and any bets last minute need to be made. Make sure you guys get them locked in. And in the comments, what y'all eating tonight for the game? And who do you got? Or do you even care? Next, let's go back to where we started at the beginning. Because, this really pissed me off. So much so, I've already canceled my subscription.
I would have said no right there. You said, can I say one thing?
I'd run through the stop sign. The business folks handle the business.
Of course.
And I have no say over different elements that could or could not be in the show.
Okay.
And so I'll just tell you right now, when you see me come on the air here, we're going to hit the Octo Box. We've got 8 games in the early window, taking you around all the different cities. And then when we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, it's been more than 250 days since the first full NFL Sunday, but we are back. And 7 hours of red zone football starts now.
Wow. Well said.
I realize that might be a slight change to some of you, but that's what the catchphrase will be going forward.
We all understand what the NFL is, okay? We all understand what the NFL is. As soon as we heard it's in 50 million homes and everybody's watching it, we knew immediately that there was going to be commercials dropped in there. Now, they already started doing commercials with the LRAPs. You know, they already started sliding those in now.
True.
You guys were saying commercial-free football, and I saw a fucking Lowe's ad on my screen as you were doing that. I'm like, we're certainly getting money from commercial stuff, though.
Boom.
Bang!
Yeah.
Shout out. That's exactly what it would do, you know? And then now actual commercials.
Yeah, so there you go. They've added commercials to Red Zone. I think they must have thought that what we loved most about Red Zone was having access to all of the games, when what I loved most about Red Zone was the no commercials. So if you have any commercials, there's no point in me having Red Zone. So I already paid for NFL Sunday ticket because I'm a Raiders fan, not living in my market. So I'm just going back to multi-view and watching the game on Twitter, X if you're nasty. How are y'all going to be watching the game? And speaking of watching the game, if you...
Unbelievable. Holy cow. Let's go, man.
Football is a game played on a 100-yard field between 2 teams of 11 players. Each team has a roster of 53 players that can play offense, defense, or special teams. Each player on the roster plays a specific position on the field, 11 on offense and 11 on defense. Your goal as a team is to have the most points at the end of the game. Each game is 60 minutes long, broken up into 4 15-minute quarters. On offense, your team is trying to move the ball down the field into the opposing team's end zone to score a touchdown. Touchdown is worth 6 points. After a touchdown, you can kick the ball through the uprights for an extra point.
And it is good. Ooh.
You can score a touchdown by running or throwing the ball across the goal line.
Kelsey hasn't been that open since training camp.
The offense has 4 chances called downs to either run or pass the ball 10 yards for a first down, giving the team on offense a new set of downs to continue towards the end zone. When running the ball, a team's quarterback will hand the ball to the running back, and he will try and gain as many yards as possible. The quarterback can also pass the ball in the air to a wide receiver, tight end, or a running back.
George Kittle in the back of the end zone.
If the defense stops the offense from gaining 10 yards, the offense can punt the ball to the other team, or if they are within range, they can kick the ball through the uprights for a field goal. A field goal is worth 3 points.
Justin Tucker delivers.
Once the other team has taken possession of the ball, the team is now on offense and must try and score. The teams will alternate playing offense and defense for the rest of the game, and the team with the highest score at the end of regulation wins. What do American football and soccer have in common? There's a lot of kicking going on. Here are the ways to kick a football in an NFL game. First up, the kickoff. This starts each half and follows every score. The kicker must try and land the ball in the landing zone, which goes from the 20-yard line to the goal line. If the ball lands in the landing zone, it must be returned. If it goes into the end zone and it's downed, the offense starts on the 35-yard line. If the kick is short of the landing zone or goes out of bounds, the offense starts on the 40-yard line. Next, the field goal. If you're close enough on 4th down, a successful kick through the uprights is worth 3 points. The kicker is also responsible for point after attempts or PATs. After a team scores a touchdown, a kicker can add an extra point with a 33-yard attempt. Punting. If your offense is stuck and not able to get a first down, the punter kicks the ball away to the other team. But watch out for a fake punt. Punters can sneak in a throw or run to get a first down. An onside kick is a rare and risky play where the kicking team tries to recover the ball themselves. Kickoff. field goal, punt, onside kick. That's every way to kick a football in the NFL. If you want to learn more about the NFL, come back for more videos. An NFL game can be exciting when each team is scoring a lot of points. Let's take a look at all the ways you can score in an NFL game. First up, the touchdown. The offense, or the team in possession of the football, is trying to move the ball down the field into the opposing team's end zone to score a touchdown. You can score a touchdown by running or catching the ball across the goal line. A touchdown is worth 6 points. After a touchdown, a team can choose to kick the ball through the uprights for an extra point. Or they can choose to run or pass the ball from the 2-yard line for a 2-point conversion. If a team can't reach the end zone on a possession and they feel like they are within range, they can try a field goal. This is when the kicker kicks the ball through the uprights. That's worth 3 points. The defense is the team trying to prevent the offense from scoring, but they can score points too. When a defender tackles an offensive player with the ball in their own end zone, it's called a safety and it's worth 2 points. Touchdowns can also be scored by the defense. If a defensive player gets possession of the football by recovering a fumble or intercepting a QB's pass, they can advance the ball across the offensive team's goal line for a touchdown of their own. The team with the most points after 60 minutes wins the game. That's how you score points in an NFL game. If you want to learn more about the NFL, come back for more videos. Football is a team game, and every player has a role, so let's break down the positions. The quarterback is the leader of the offense. The offense is the team who has possession of the ball and is trying to score. The QB relays the play call in the huddle. After the ball is snapped, they pass, hand off, and sometimes run. Next, the running back. They run the ball, catch, and block. Wide receivers are pass catchers. The quarterback looks to them to make big plays. The linemen, made up of the center, guard, and tackle, protect the quarterback and open up run lanes for the running backs. Tight ends, they do it all. They block like linemen and catch like receivers. Those are the offensive players. Now let's look at the defense. The defensive line attacks the QB and stops the run. The D-line includes tackles in the middle and edge players on the outside. Linebackers are the Swiss Army knives. They stop the run, cover receivers, and attack the quarterback. The second line of defense is called the secondary. The cornerback covers wide receivers to try and break up passes or intercept the quarterback's pass. Safeties patrol the deep field, helping stop big plays. Special teams matter too. The long snapper snaps the ball to kickers and punters. Kickers handle kickoffs, field goals, and extra points, while punters kick the ball away on 4th down. If you want to learn more about NFL positions, come back for more videos.
Hey, welcome into this Joel Cloud Show YouTube exclusive. We've been teasing this for months. It's Football Schematics. The series is here. Understanding football.
All right. So I hope that gave you guys a little bit of an explainer about how football works and everything going on in football. Stay tuned to the Rejuvenile, and we're going to be doing more explainers like that for football and also basketball coming up, where we'll have people break down the basics to help you understand the game a little bit and make it easier to watch. Now, this.
This has massive implications, I think, everything that Pablo Torre said. I looked at his tweet where he put the video out from his podcast, had 12 million views on it. Okay, this is going to be a big ordeal. I assume the NBA is already trying to look into all this. Yep. I wonder how prevalent this is around the NBA and in professional sports as a whole, as an owner is sneaking or circumventing the salary cap by providing funds through another company. How long has this been going on? Who all does this? Obviously, we heard about it from the college ranks. Yep. Have professional teams been doing this with their biggest stars? If they have, how long has it been taking place since like the beginning of time? I wonder all those things just learning about this, but allegedly Kawhi was getting paid a lot of money through a tree seeding company.
Good company idea.
Very kind of them.
Not making the world better.
Okay, let's back up here for a second. What is happening? Pablo Torre, who used to work on ESPN, I'll just let Pablo speak for himself here.
By The Athletic, which means that the views, research, and reporting expressed in this episode are solely those of Pablo Torre finds out, and do not reflect the work or editorial input of The Athletic or its journalists. So this is where I just got to set the stage here, because so far we've been telling two parallel stories, much like two parallel towers of papers. And what we know is that NBA executives were suspicious of how Steve Ballmer's Clippers landed the most valuable free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. That the NBA did not find that Ballmer got Kawhi by sweetening their offer. But also that in March 2025, this celebrity-endorsed, multi-billion-dollar, allegedly fraudulent pre-brokerage named Aspiration, which promises to clear your conscience and your emissions, they file for bankruptcy. And this is where the clue is. So, David, if you will now finally flip over that paper.
He was groping that paper as you were talking.
What David's looking at with his glasses on is a bankruptcy filing, and there's a list of creditors. The entities to which Aspiration and all of their alleged fraudulence still owes the most money. And what I noticed is what David is noticing right now, which is that on that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC. A tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
What I did next was pull the publicly accessible paperwork that KL2 Aspire LLC filed with California's Secretary of State, which happens to be the first document in front of you, Amin.
Okay.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
So then the question is, the Aspire part of KL2 Aspire LLC, right? Because, okay, he's getting all his money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find, which also might seem weird, right? Because every other celebrity Aspiration gave money to was well known. There was Drake offering a statement to Rolling Stone. There was Doc Rivers, Kawhi's own head coach. Robert Downey Jr. was cutting his commercial. That was the whole point of paying the A-list Avengers. But the grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing Aspiration was this.
Ultimately, 0.
0. 0 times.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard mentioned Aspiration. And so what I started doing was reaching out to dozens of former Aspiration employees. And I was looking for any information about KL2 Aspire LLC. And what happened was a grand total of 7 of them ultimately agreed to interviews, which is also how I have exclusively obtained the next sheaf of papers in front of you both to turn over. David, please go first. Can you please read what this signed and executed document says?
This endorsement agreement is effective as of April 1, 2022, the effective date, between KL2 Aspire LLC and Aspiration Partners with a principal place of business in Marina Del Rey, California.
Whereas Kawhi Leonard is a professional basketball player in the National Basketball Association, NBA, currently on the roster of the Los Angeles Clippers team. Whereas company desires that KL2 cause Leonard to provide the services to promote and market company as more particularly set forth herein.
In consideration of the rights and benefits granted to company hereunder, the company will pay KL2, which is Kawhi, $28 million in cash during the term of this agreement. Company will pay KL2 $7 million each year of the term.
That is Kawhi Leonard's autograph, right next to Andre Cherny, the CEO's autograph, youngest speechwriter in White House history, next to the Clippers franchise player. But as for the listed address, Amin, for where any and all legal notices for Kawhi Leonard will be sent, what does that say there?
KL2 Aspire LLC, care of Dennis Robertson.
And Uncle Dennis is also listed elsewhere in this contract, by the way, as his nephew's designated representative. And so this is where I just need to mention that on account of the multiple ongoing federal investigations into Aspiration, all the former employees I talked to were very afraid, understandably, to go on tape. But eventually, toward the end of my investigation, I convinced one very important person who worked in the finance department of Aspiration to go on tape, provided we could modulate their voice.
Wow.
Which felt fair.
I love that. I've always wanted to do that.
Do you remember the first time that you discovered Kawhi Leonard's endorsement agreement with Aspiration?
Oh, it was within the first 30 days of my employment with the company. And I didn't so much as discover it as I was told about it.
What was your reaction?
Now, I'm going to stop it there because obviously this is really super explosive and a really big story. And I wonder how the NBA is going to deal with this, because we know a lot of the small market teams have already had it out for Ballmer because they were afraid of this very thing happening. So if you guys want to see the rest of this story, I will include the link to Pablo Torre's podcast for this very episode inside the description of this very video. And it wouldn't be fair for me to end this without reading the response from the Clippers. So here that goes. Neither the Clippers nor Steve Ballmer circumvented the salary cap. The notion that Steve invested in Aspiration in order to funnel money to Kawhi Leonard is absurd. Steve invested because Aspiration's co-founders presented themselves as committed to doing right by their customers while protecting the environment. After a long campaign of market manipulation, which defrauded not only Steve, but numerous other investors in sports teams, Aspiration filed for bankruptcy. Its co-founder, Joseph Sandberg, recently pleaded guilty to a $143 million fraud, which is crazy because those guys don't go to jail for long, like at all. He's going to get like 5 years or something. Watch. Neither Steve nor the Clippers had knowledge of any improper activity by Aspiration or its co-founder until after the government initiated its investigation. Aspiration was a team sponsor for the 21-22 season and the 22 seasons before defaulting on its contract. There is nothing unusual or untoward about team sponsors doing endorsement deals with players on the same team. Neither Steve nor the Clippers organization had any oversight of Kawhi's independent endorsement agreement with Aspiration. To say otherwise is flat out wrong. The Clippers take NBA compliance extremely seriously, fully respect the league's rules, and welcome its investigation related to Aspiration. The Clippers will also continue to cooperate with law enforcement in its investigation into Aspiration's blatantly fraudulent activity. Yeah, just like this guy over here, I don't believe you. But this is going to be very interesting. Let's see how this ends up playing out. I think either A, this completely goes away and is swept under the rug, or B, the Clippers have to fall on their sword so that this thread doesn't get pulled, because it's not really so much, I think, about what we all think or what the players think, because I think this thing definitely kind of happens, but this could start off a civil war between owners, and the NBA doesn't want that, but I do. I'll watch. This has been Cassius Clae with your update for this week. Again, what are y'all eating for tonight's game? And stay tuned. We're going to have more on the Rejuvenile Sports Mode. Peace.